so that all may hear what you have to share. For everything is valuable.
Is this on? Hi, Bashar. I've got a question.
All right, one moment. What happened to, hello, good day. This is, after all, a diplomatic exchange.
Aloha.
And to you, good day. What would you like to discuss this day?
I met you like, I don't know, it was like 14 years ago in Egypt.
Oh, all right.
I wanted to ask you, when you project your consciousness out from your physical, are you conscious in your physical being of your projection, or are you projecting from your higher self state?
Is there a difference?
There is here.
Only because you have made a difference in your definition. Understand that from our perspective, I am not projecting out. I am containing you in my definition of who I am. So that in my consciousness, you become a part of me and I dialogue with that part of me. The vibration that I give off, the state, the vibrational state I put myself in, is of a particular frequency. The channel sitting before you has been trained to match that frequency. When his frequency matches my frequency in a certain way, then we fall into a lockstep vibration, and in that sense, what you get is simultaneously created thoughts that are identical in both places. In other words, telepathy is not actually transmission over a distance per se. It is not reading each other's minds or projecting or sending in that sense, really. It is that when you are in the same vibratory state as another, you have exactly the same thought at exactly the same moment. That's why people who are in love often know exactly what each other are thinking and say the same things at the same time and finish each other's sentences. So in my state of repose, I am completely aware of the fact that this interaction is going on, but I do put myself into an altered state that vibrationally represents the idea that this dialogue exists within the greater idea of myself as an expression. And thus, it immediately translates simultaneously into any other idea of location that also matches that frequency. Does that make sense to you in your language at all?
Yeah, it does.
Does that help address the question, or is there some other avenue you wish to explore about this to aid and assist in clarity?
Yes.
All right.
Do you use any mechanical means to facilitate this, or do you?
In some senses, we do. Although, of course, different civilizations will do it in different ways, depending upon how they have oriented themselves. But what you are referring to as mechanical assistance isn't exactly mechanical assistance as you understand it. Many of you have heard that our ships are self-aware. They're not exactly what you would call machines. They are actually beings. They are consciousnesses. They are life forms of a type. But they have the ability, because we have designed it into them, to be plugged into the vibrations of many different states, many different locales, instantaneously and simultaneously. And they are used to help amplify and focus the vibrational state I mentioned before that allows this interaction to take place. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So they augment us, but at the same time, the consciousness of the ship that we are, in that sense, in touch with is also actually part of our own greater self, or higher self, if you wish to put it in those terms. Does that make sense?
It does to me.
When your people actually get to the point where you create what you have called artificially intelligent computers, you will actually discover that what you're actually speaking with is your own higher self. Because you will have simply finally created a device that represents the appropriate arrangement of vibrations that allows a consciousness to communicate through into your physical reality domain. And it will be yourselves that you actually are talking to. Does that make sense?
Yes, but I'm not too entrusting with the people that would be creating the machines that would do that and their consciousness.
All right. Well, what are you interested in?
No, I'm interested in it. I just am. Our society is dominated by forces.
Really?
That do a lot to do with
your society
material
is
goods.
Dominated by forces?
Yeah.
What forces are those? May I remind you, by the way, that I understand the experience you're talking about, but I also want to remind you that what you have just said is actually nothing more than the product of a belief and a definition. It isn't empirically true at the core of your being. It's just what you have all created as an experience on your planet. You have created the experience of your society being dominated by forces, but your society is not actually dominated by anything. Because you are your society. If you want to see anything in your world change, all you have to do is change yourself. And you will suddenly literally be in another reality where that idea no longer exists and that vibration never has. The whole idea of changing your reality isn't really changing your reality. It's you changing yourself and going into a parallel reality that contains a reflection of the way you have changed yourself, with other versions of other people in those realities that are more reflective of the vibration of your preference. Does that make sense?
Yes, I understand that.
Does that help?
I'd love to talk to you more, but there's people waiting.
That's all right. We can talk at another time if you wish. We have all the time in creation. Thank you. And to you, good day.
Thank you. I'm a little confused by what you said about us being your ancestors and you being our descendants.
Oh, all right.
And also,
would you like me to explain that?
Sure. And also, if you could address the any changes that we make or any choices that we make, does that also impact you in any way, or now or in the future?
All right. Thank you. First of all, many of you are familiar with what has been called on your planet the abduction phenomenology, yes? All right. And you have heard that beings you have called the Greys have used human genetic material to create, with their own genetic material, races of what you will call hybrid beings, yes? Our race is one of those hybrid races in what you call your future. So you are literally our genetic ancestors. And we thank you for birthing us. We recognize that some of what you went through to allow us to exist wasn't always pleasurable for you. And so we take upon ourselves the responsibility of coming in this way to assist you through the process in return for having given us our existence. You are literally our genetic ancestors. Now, something else we should illuminate with regard to the whole idea of the Greys, at least in general. First of all, of course, understand there are many types of gray being, and gray is just a generalized euphemism. But for now, it will do in this dialogue. The Greys, as you understand them, those that are doing those particular hybridization programs, are not exactly what you recognize as extraterrestrial. Even though they do have, technically, advanced technology that allows them to visit other planets and build societies on other planets, and in that sense, yes, come from other planets, they're still, at their core, originally, not exactly extraterrestrial. Think about it genetically. How could they actually use your genetic material and blend it with theirs if there was not already compatibility to create a hybrid race? Because part of the idea is that they became genetically unviable to reproduce and needed genetic material that would allow them to create a hybrid race that would reproduce. Therefore, their genetic makeup and your genetic makeup actually had to be somewhat similar to begin with for that to be even possible. So understand, The Greys are not exactly extraterrestrial. They are mutated humans from a parallel Earth that destroyed their civilization, much in the same way your civilization is polluting itself, adapted to it, mutated to it, found out they could no longer reproduce, and recognized the only way to perpetuate their society was to find a source of genetically viable material, but there were no longer any humans. But wait, in parallel realities there are. And so they tunneled into your parallel reality and said, look at all the humans. Viable genetic material to continue our species. It won't be exactly our species, but it will be something that will perpetuate our reality, and hence the hybrids. And there are many different hybrid civilizations, of which we are only one. So again, we thank you. Great, 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 great grandma.
Thank you very much.
Now, your second question. First of all, impact and change. And what impact does change have? Well, there is a very interesting number of aspects to this idea. Number one is this. Oh, are you listening? Yes. Are you paying attention? Yes. Oh, all right, just checking. Want to make sure we are not boring anyone. Every change, no matter how small, is a total change of everything in creation. Every change changes everything. Because every change, by definition, is a new equation, a new variable, a new vibration, and a new vibration is a new vibration in totality. Impact. In one sense, therefore, you could say every change has total impact on everything. The analogy would be, imagine yourself to be a little gear with teeth on it. You understand gear? All right. And it's touching the next gear, and that gear touches the next gear, and that touches all the other gears all the way out to infinity. Well, if your little gear, even turns a little bit, all the other gears have to turn. They're all connected to you. They're all touching. All the teeth are interlocked. So even if you go that much, the other gears must turn some degree. So it changes everything. Now, the other side of this issue of impact is this. We understand that when you all get, as you say, fired up about your mission, your purpose, and you wonder what impact you will have on society, I will tell you this from this perspective. You can never have more impact than you already have just by existing. I'll say it another way. You already have, just by the very fact of your existence, 100% impact of all the impact you will ever have, just because you exist. But we know what you're asking for, but we'll tell it to you this way. When you do the things you love to do, when you express yourself creatively in a way that you desire to create an impact with, it isn't that you will have more impact than you already have. It's that following your joy and acting on your excitement will simply create more ability for you to perceive in a number of ways the impact you already have. You won't create more impact. You will create more ability to perceive the impact you already have just by the fact of your existence. Because all that is already all that is. So if you exist in it, you already have infinite impact because you are an aspect of all that is. But the idea of fulfilling Your purpose of being yourself and expressing yourself in all the ways that you can will give you and others more ability to perceive the impact you're already having in a number of ways. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Does that answer your question?
Yes, and thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
It's been 19 years since we had the pleasure of speaking together.
19
or
little
I've
orbits.
had the pleasure.
All right.
I actually have two questions to pose on two different topics, if I may.
Go ahead.
The first one is about the same time that I spoke with you, I had a visual sighting, and the ships were like 6 or 7 individual ships.
Yes.
And then they formed into one.
All right.
Now, what you shared tonight about your ships being, I forget how you phrased it, but conscious, self-aware.
Conscious. Yes.
Is that how these ships were able to form into one?
Well, in a sense, yes. I mean, the idea is that in changing their frequency, in changing their vibration, they were performing a kind of blending idea that then translated in your dimension of reality in no other way other than appearing to become one ship. The idea really is you have to understand everything already is one. You know that, yes?
Okay.
All right, you don't sound convinced. We can get a little bit more into that in a moment.
I'm trying to fly with you here.
All right, well, thank you.
Okay.
Flying is fun.
So I'm seeing these individuals.
Oh, 1 minute.
Okay.
Not done. Hold on, 1 minute. Now, everything is already really one thing. The idea that you perceive as separate things is simply part of the vibrational illusion, in a sense. Everything is all that is. It's made of all that is. There is nothing but all that is expressing itself in a number of different ways simultaneously. Does that make sense so far? Yes, no, maybe?
Maybe.
All right. Do you understand what a hologram is?
Not fully, no. I mean, I've seen it on...
All right. One of your three-dimensional technology pictures, yes?
Okay.
It looks like a three-dimensional image, but the image, in a sense, is still captured on what you would call a two-dimensional piece of film. Yet it projects and appears to be a three-dimensional object, and you can look at it from different sides, and it seems three-dimensional, but all you're holding is a two-dimensional flat thing. You understand?
Uh-huh.
All right. But if you understand how that works, then the idea is similar to the way the universe, in a sense, is constructed vibrationally. What that means is all of those angles of the hologram are actually all in the same place at the same time. All the information is in one spot. It's all one thing. It appears to be different angles because of your angle of observation. So the perception of it is what makes it appear to be this side of the object, and then when you move your perceptive angle, it makes it appear to be that side of the object, but you know there isn't really a three-dimensional object there. It's just your angle of perception that makes it seem as if there is, because all the information of all sides of the object are all in the same place, and depending upon your angle of approach, it gives you a piece of that information that says, look, you see this side of the object, but all the other information for all the other sides of the object are all in the same place anyway. Does that make sense?
Kind of.
Kind of, all right. Well, it might be interesting to you to do a little research on this, but taking that analogy further with regard to the ships that you saw, what they were exhibiting to you is the idea that separateness is really an illusion, and that what can appear to be 6, 7, a dozen, 200, 2,000 different things are actually one thing when you change their frequencies to match, and they harmonize as one thing. You, from your perspective, in your reality, will then only perceive it to be one thing. So they were both at the same time one thing and still several things, but from your perspective, because of the way they changed their frequency, they only appeared from that point forward to be one thing to you. Does that make sense?
Is this kind of like saying, I see 7 Volkswagens, and then they've just formed together to become a bus? Is that the same? Is that the same analogy that you're giving me? That
what we are saying, more precisely, is that the 7 people's cars and the bus both coexist simultaneously. They don't actually become one another or transform from one to the other. They both coexist at the same time, but depending upon your perspective at that moment, your vibration and their vibration, you will either see the bus or the 7 people cars.
Okay, I think I can get that.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, and the second question? Oh, I'm sorry, were you done?
No, yes, the second question.
Okay, the second question. I understand that there is an ancient civilization in Earth. Are they considered extraterrestrials, or are they...
Are you talking about the interior of your planet?
Yes.
There is nothing physically, in that sense, interior to your planet, but you can shift dimensionally to make it seem as if you're going inside your planet, and there are consciousnesses and intelligences in that vibration, but it only appears as if you're going literally, physically inside your planet, but what you're actually doing is shifting interdimensionally into another reality altogether that simply translates, again, from your perspective, to seem as if you're actually going physically in your planet, but you're not.
See, that I totally got.
There you go.
Thank you, Bashar.
Thank you.
Hello.
Andrew, good day.
My question was if you could shed some light on the nature of ships that exist in subatomic mass, and related to that, I've heard that some ships that say are 60 feet in diameter, to them it's like 900 miles long.
Yes.
And that was it.
All right, you want me to shed some light on that? Yes?
In particular, the ones existing in subatomic mass.
All right, well, again, it is similar to what we have just discussed. It is a matter of vibrational perspective, because different dimensions, as you understand them or as you translate them from your dimensional perspective, will appear to have different qualities of dimensionality. And some of those qualities of dimensionality won't translate into your dimension in any way that makes sense to your 3-dimensional minds, and so they will appear to be missing mass or volume, and in that sense will appear to be very small, perhaps even subatomic. It's not that to themselves they are, but from your perspective they would appear to be, because they don't completely translate across. And that's why there are civilizations that have created the ability, however, to combine these frequencies in a way that what would appear on the outside to be a very small ship, on the inside can actually be miles, 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 and miles long. Because they are using 2 different dimensional frequencies in a kind of a dance, in a coherent, harmonized dance, in a way that the idea of the outside translates in one dimension one way, but then translates completely differently when it comes to the interior because of those dimensional vibrational shiftings going on. Is this making any sense in your language?
Yes. Yes.
To the questioner?
Yes.
All right. Does that help?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, your civilization will ultimately learn to do this as well. It may take a little while, but you will learn to do this. There are many civilizations that have employed this technology even in what you would call their structures, in their cities, so that the planets seem relatively city-free, relatively structure-free. What may be there may appear to be nothing more than a door, but when you walk through it, you're inside a building that might be miles long. And therefore, it doesn't take up any space on the planet, but it takes up space in another dimension. So, thank you. And?
Good evening, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
Several of us are working on a plan to assist in remembering.
All right.
It involves a artifact that has been identified in the book, the Bible Code 2, as existing on the Lisan Peninsula in Jordan, allegedly put there in antiquity by extraterrestrials.
What artifact are you referring to?
Well, that is the mystery, because it has not been recovered, and that is what the plan is.
To recover it?
To recover it.
Have a good time. Sounds like a plan.
Yes, it should be fun.
There are objects that exist in various places on your planet that do have extraterrestrial origins and or connections. And their existence and the process of their discovery in and of itself is an important process for the awakening of consciousness on your planet. So have a good time.
The question is,
yes,
is it appropriate and timely for the search and recovery?
Do you think you will be able to find it if it's not the appropriate timing?
That is my sense, that we know about it because the signal has been sent of the appropriateness.
Then the very fact that you know about it and the very fact that you are inspired to go looking for it and the very process you will go through in doing so without expectation will be exactly what needs to happen. And the outcome will be exactly what needs to happen. And the paradox is, if you drop the expectation that you need to find it while you're actually in the process of looking for it, the outcome will be exactly what it needs to be.
Thank you.
And the artifact will have served the purpose for which it was actually designed.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
Thank you for coming.
Well, I'm not there, but you're welcome.
My name is Shamian, and I wanted to ask you about the energies here on the islands particularly. I moved here on Tuesday, and I felt I was coming to the Lemurian homeland.
You are.
And
Hawaiian islands were connected to the chain of that which you understood as Lemuria, yes.
Well, in my interdimensional journeying, I've found that energies were seeded in the Lemurian civilization that are relevant for the shift that we're making now. And it feels to me like soul groups from Lemuria are collecting here in Hawaii to come together to bring these codes into manifestation. Can you give me any information on that, please?
Understand that what you call the Hawaiian area, for lack of a better term, is the heart chakra of the planet. And in that sense, therefore, individuals who are attracted vibrationally to that area on your planet will find great opening in the heart vibration that will unlock the codes and information that need to be unlocked in the proper timing as they evolve through their process. Remember, all of you remember this and keep this picture squarely in your minds, or roundly if you wish. As has already been discovered by many people doing these kinds of researches on your planet, you all now, if you think about it for a moment, will remember that your heart, with every beat, actually gives off an electromagnetic pulse that leaves your body at the speed of light. 186,300 miles per second. You all give off these bubbles of electromagnetic energy with every beat of the heart. Every single one. And that it moves outward from around in that sense to envelop everyone at the speed of light. You are all immersed in each other's heart bubbles all the time. Communication with each other, telepathy, happens through the heart vibration, not through the mind. That's why we refer to it as telepathy, not telepathy. It's how you feel in that sense. It's the vibration of your heart that actually is the first communication you all experience and the ocean of electromagnetic energy that you all swim in. Hawaii represents that vibration, that frequency, that openness, that givingness, that ability to relax into your true self, and if used that way, it will accelerate and expand your energy. But remember, it's a very amplifying energy and can be amplifying in both directions, positively and negatively. What you bring with you into that region is what will get amplified. And in that sense, what that means is, eventually and relatively rapidly, it will force you to face things that need to be integrated within your consciousness. Bring them to the surface. And you will, in that sense, be telling yourself this is something that must be dealt with in order for you to become a holistic being. When approached in this manner, all of the information that is contained and encoded within that vibration will come out in a time-released fashion exactly at the moment you can incorporate it best into your consciousness, and exactly in the way in your imagination that you can best express it to allow yourself to be most fully who you are, and in that way, as an example to others, aid and assist them in also choosing, by seeing it in you, to also be more fully who they are. Does this description answer your question?
Yes, thank you. Bless you.
Thank you, and blessings to you as well.
Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
I have two questions for you.
Seems to be a theme.
May I borrow one of your ships for a benevolent purpose?
For what purpose?
A benevolent purpose.
A benevolent purpose.
Yes.
Yes, you may. Come and get it.
In fact, my second question, you must have read my mind, was exactly that. Are you a pilot?
Yes.
I would like very much to come and get it. Thank you.
Now remember, please, all of you, you all have the ability in what you call your out-of-body dream time to do just that, and most of you already have several times.
Correct.
The idea is to now start to see physical reality as no different than the dream. Because it isn't any different. You just say that it is.
I don't say it is.
You know what I mean.
Yes, I do.
In general, most of you define physical reality as different than the dream, but it isn't. It's just a different kind of dream. So yes.
Thank you.
You have our permission. Come and get it. Anytime. And thank you.
Aloha.
And to you, good day.
I have a question about vibration and changing it without trying.
Changing it without frying.
Oh, that's a good one.
All right.
But actually, you know, when you're trying to change a
when
vibration...
you're what?
When you... Okay. When...
That was a change of vibration right there, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Going from trying to change to just when you change your vibration.
Okay.
Because you do all the time anyway. You're not talking about doing anything different than what you're already doing, you know. You're just becoming more aware of what you're doing so that you can do it with intention and consciousness. But you're not learning how to do it. You already do it. You do it all the time. If you didn't, you wouldn't have an experiential reality. Changing your vibration is innate to all of you. Automatic, natural. You can't help but do it. You're doing it right now. It's just a matter of becoming aware of how you're doing it, what you're doing it, why you're doing it, and then making a choice. That's all. Does that make sense?
It does, but
yes.
Is there a way of learning to change your vibration to health without trying?
I just told you. You are changing your vibration right now. You're doing it all the time. So why are you asking me, how can I learn to change it? You're doing it right now. You just did it again. 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 Just did it again. You just did it again. Just did it again. You just did it again. You're doing it all the time. You don't have to learn how to change your vibration. If you want to stop trying, stop. But remember, trying to change your vibration is in and of itself a definition. It's a thing that you're doing. You're using your energy to experience trying. That's all right. Just acknowledge that that's what you're doing. That's all. And if you are then done with trying, you'll stop. If you're not done with trying, you won't. Let us explain something in this way. Please understand, every single one of you without exception, and I mean without exception, are absolutely master creators. Every single one of you. You are always manifesting instantaneously. Again, if you weren't, you wouldn't have an experiential reality. You have to always be manifesting something in order to have what you call the next moment in your reality. So you're constantly manifesting. Constantly. Now, if because of your definitions and your belief systems and what you have been taught to believe is true, you feel that you must create for yourself a manifestation of the experience of trying to do something, well, you're still actually manifesting. It's just that you're manifesting a specific thing that gives you an experience called trying to do something. But that is a manifestation. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
You see, it's really, in a sense, like you're just playing a game of hide and seek with yourself. Even though you may feel like you're trying to manifest, you are actually manifesting trying. You're already manifesting. It's just now that you have to get in touch with the fact that you may no longer prefer to manifest that. But you don't have to learn to manifest. You do it instantaneously, flawlessly, magnificently, and perfectly. You just have to get in touch with why it is you would think that manifesting the experience of trying to manifest is something that you are getting something out of. When you believe you're no longer really getting anything out of that experience, believe me, you will stop doing it. And you'll manifest something else. But it's all about definition, and it's all about how you have defined your motivation. Again, every single thing you do, again, all of you, again, without exception, every single thing you choose to do, you do for one simple motivation. It's always the same motivation in every case, without exception, without fail. You will always move toward what you define to be more pleasure and move away from what you define to be more pain. Always. Your choices will always be based on that. And yet many of you say, but I'm experiencing a lot of pain. Why am I not moving away from it? If you're finding out that pain is manifesting in your life and you don't seem to be moving away from it, it's because you have defined that what it is that's causing you pain is actually less painful than the alternative. And so you're motivated to keep doing it. As soon as you change your definition about the alternative into something that is, in that sense, less painful than what you're doing, believe me, you will instantaneously stop doing that and start doing this. Instantly. It's all a matter of how you define what it is that you think you want to do and your motivation based on that definition. That's all it's all about. So, the first thing to do would be, if you find yourself in an experience of trying to do something, ask yourself, what do I believe I'm getting out of that experience? There must be something about it I believe is serving me, even if what it's doing is keeping me away from something I think is actually even scarier. That might be a service to you. You might think it is a service. You might be defining it as a service. You may say intellectually, I would rather be doing that thing. But if something deep within you defines the doing of that thing as more scary than the thing you're already doing, you will choose the devil you know as opposed to the devil you don't. Always. So when you understand that what it is you say you want to do is actually in your best interests and really will serve you, you will instantly choose it, instantly move in that direction, and instantly stop doing the thing that you say you no longer want to do, that you're tired of. But if you keep doing it, you must not be tired enough of it yet. Or you must not have found out why you believe you need to keep doing it. And that's where getting in touch with definitions that are deep within you is so very critical and so very crucial. Because you have to understand that every single thing you do is based on what you define to be true about it, and define what you believe to be true about your relationship to it. And it's all based on what you've been taught, and that's why we initially said when we came through in this transmission that all of the things we're talking about is all about unlearning. You have to redefine your reality to experience a new reality, because you have been taught so many definitions that you simply assume are automatically true that you never question them. Here's an example that we often give to illustrate the point. Are you paying attention?
Yes.
Oh, all right. Many of you say, I know I keep doing this thing. I don't want to keep doing it. I can't help it. It's a habit. All right. But that's because you've defined a habit as something you can't help but keep doing. Our definition of a habit is this. A habit is something you do that you don't know you're doing. Once you know you're doing it, it's not a habit, it's a choice. Ooh, responsibility. Oh no, scary. No, 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 no. If you keep doing it and you know you're doing it, it's no longer a habit, it's a choice. And now comes the $64,000 or million or billion dollar question, why would I keep doing it? Aha, now you're in control. Find out. What's the definition that says you're motivated to keep choosing a thing you say you don't want to keep choosing, but keep choosing? And if you ask why, what would I have to believe is true about this situation, about me, about my relationship to it, in order to believe, in order to define that this choice is the wisest, most beneficial choice for me to keep making? Because that's all you're doing. You're just making a choice. That's all you're doing. And you're doing it because you're motivated to make that choice, because you've defined it as the wisest choice to make in lieu of any other definition that works better for you. So find out what the definition is you're attaching to the situation that makes you keep choosing that. And when you identify what that definition is, it will suddenly become transparently obvious that you no longer need to buy into that definition as empirically true. It will just be understood that it has nothing to do with you. It may be something you earned or inherited from your parents or society or someone else, but it has nothing to do with you. And when you recognize it by identifying it and then replace it with a definition you prefer, you will find quite readily that it will take its place automatically, and that the definition will lead to a different feeling, and the different feeling will lead to a different behavior, and the different behavior will lead to different thoughts, and different thoughts will lead to a different experiential reality, and that cycle will be reinforced instead of the other cycle based on the other definition. Was that clear?
Yes.
Did that help?
Yes, it did. Thank you.
Thank you. There will be a few moments remaining for this transmission. Is there anything else someone would like to discuss in the time remaining?
Aloha.
And to you, good day.
Yes. I was wondering if you could comment on the status of the cetacea, the relationship with the dolphins, and how that relates to the ET contact, because we see it as one of the first contacts.
Well,
and as part of that, perhaps we could hear from your dreamer, the dolphin.
A little bit busy tonight, doing something else, but in spirit here, vibrationally here, but not in translation will it come. Not exactly in the way that you're used to hearing it as before. But vibration and support are being given by that being for this interaction, but busy tonight, other things to take care of, other people to talk to, other places is the mind. understand that cetacea in this sense are very much other beings, other extraterrestrials, so to speak, on Earth, who are telepathically already in touch with other beings, such as ourselves, such as consciousness from Sirius, and other civilizations and other dimensions. They can teach you much about how to open your minds, open your hearts, to receive information clearly from other realities, other levels. Remember, one of the strongest things about why they are in the water is because in order to really interact with them, you really have to enter a different world than you're used to do so. And in entering that different world, all of your previously held beliefs start to dissolve. And that is what will allow you, if you're receptive to it, to really open up to what it is they can show you about the communications they already have going on with other beings in other dimensions of reality. And please also understand, all of you often communicate in dream time, and reincarnationally there have been many that are now human who have experienced dolphin lives, and many that are now dolphin who have experienced human lives. You are, in that sense, interchangeable without diminishment of either. And in that way, you have co-created a reality in the sea and on the land, on your planet, that aids and assists your ability to expand outward to the stars by first allowing yourself to go inward into yourselves and share with your cousins in the ocean that which is necessary to share, to learn what you need to know to go into the sea of space. Does this help? Does this help? Yes. All right. There will be a brief amount of time remaining. Is there another?
Hello.
And to you, good day.
How are you?
Perfect, and you?
Excellent.
Thank you.
I was wondering if you could say a few words to support us all in finding clarity in our individual roles with regard to ET civilizations.
Your individual roles will automatically be revealed to you in the proper places and the proper times by simply being the best you can be every moment of your life with regard to following your highest joy and excitement. It's automatically part of the kit and will unfold in the life that you have agreed to live by simply being the fullest you can be, because it's all right there wrapped up, and it will unfold in due course automatically without having to try, without having to think about it. You will just be in the right place, the right time, interacting with whom you exactly need to interact with, doing exactly what you need to do, because you have been willing before that time to do that at every moment in your life, regardless of whether you would meet an ET or not. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
Following your highest excitement is aligning with the vibration of your true self. By following and acting on the highest excitement every moment in your life, then, by being your true self, will you allow yourself to experience all experiences that are part of the true self you chose to be in this life. Again, that's why we say it's really simply a matter of remembering who you are. And when you remember who you are, we'll be standing right in front of you. Because you are us, and we are you. And we are just a different reflection in the mirror of all that is. And when you remember who you are, you will see us, because we're already here. All right? At this timing, we will once again extend to each and every one of you our heartfelt appreciation and gratitude for the co-creation of this interaction, this bridge, this link, this transmission, this third new reality that we already share. Our unconditional love to you all, and a fond and exciting and creative and active and playful good day. How did it go? Did you have a good time? thank you all very, very much for being here tonight. And please, if you would, give a very, very warm thank you to Michael, Angelica, and all the volunteers for putting this together. Thank you very much.